Well, I'm back in my quiet room now, getting on with the painting. This is the first of 3 panels. There's the original drawing, and this is the panel so far, obviously viewed from behind. So we'll just get on with putting the black paint on. I've already done the blue. So first of 3 panels, this is the smallest of the 3 as well, but I'll hide out here in my quiet space and see how long it lasts. It's been absolutely hectic. 4, 5, 6, I've done 9 panels in 2 weeks. I'm up to date, get these painted for the weekend. And we can get them shipped and get on with making some more electronics. And there's a new product as well under development, which I'll show you more about that in another video. Suffice to say, if you have colour light signals, it will be of interest to you. It's long overdue. In fact, it was one of the first products I designed, but for some reason I just never brought it to market. So now, well, you can see what you think when I explain how it works. Since the laser's been tuned up with its new mirrors and the new high pressure air assist, it's been pretty spectacular. I'm very pleased with it. The way it cuts wood leaves absolutely no burn or residue on the cut side. In fact, even though I say I'm in my quiet space or quiet room, I can hear the compressors and fans in the room next door as it cuts this panel. That one's 610 by 310, I think. And this other one, which is the largest of the 3, it's actually 4 panels in one. See that after? That's 800 mil, 800 by 280. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that was on the laser yesterday. It ran for 8 hours, 8.5 hours to cut that. And the one this morning, this one is just coming to the end of its first pass. In fact, I better just check it. I think I can hear it running, but it's 3 hours per pass. Video. Yeah, it's getting close, so I might have to stop and give that a blast at some point. It's good to be busy. Actually, we've been very busy. We normally dip off, but the dip hasn't been as big as other years. Mind you, it probably helps that, well, they say we've had the wettest May since records began on the weather forecast here in sunny England. It's looking nice, that. Very good. So I hope you're keeping well, keeping busy. think what we'll probably do is cue some dodgy music and speed this up a little bit, because I'm in the mood to just sit and paint. So I hope you're in the mood to sit and watch. Okay, next one. It's a fair size. It's 4-in-1. I think I'm going to paint a bit at a time. So I'll do this and then I'll do the second half, I think. just to try and eliminate the risk of pocking up. So everything is now black. It's just in one place. So, take it back. This is the narrow gauge section layout. It's a little bit. Which one? Yeah. Right. I see the new research, so go around and look at it. I saw lots of boxes of pictures of box. And that's like Manchester. Right. So I said, yeah. And also the other stuff, the research, the box, and lots of smash. Okay. Right, we're going to. Somewhere? That's out. Oh, yeah. Hello? What's happening? Right. Good. Right, yeah. Yeah, can I do this for you? Can I do this for you? Yeah. Good. Did you check out Manchester office space yet? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah. Mum's just running into the garage now. Mum's just running into the garage, see? So Mum's running into the garage now, see? Time for some more paint. That's what we've got so far. Looking nice. Now we'll start on this. I think start that way. Okay. See what we get. It's what they don't tell you in the instruction book for painting. How to do the wider ones. That's done. That'll be very well. Okay, last bit we'll do flat dry. Well, it's another day. I just started painting the panel and I realised I hadn't switched the camera on. It's a glorious day, Thursday, on the run up to the end of May bank holiday. And I'm just putting the finishing touches to this 800mm panel. And when the paint's dry, we can have a look at it. It's absolutely fabulous outside, not a cloud in the sky, sun's beating down. Exactly what we don't want for model railways, I suppose. But long overdue. So I'm just coming up with other ideas for videos, and one that I've just been asked is that of wiring three-way frog polarity with our relay driver, and I've always shied away from that because I don't have a set of three-way points and I've always perceived it to be too difficult. But in hindsight, I should just get on with it. So I'm going to come up with a solution over the next week or two and post a video, and also update the documentation to show you how to do it. I think upstairs I've got a Pico 3-way point somewhere, so I'll use that in the video as well, and we can get that one out of the door. But I've got to finish these 3 panels today if I can, and then I'm back in the workshop this afternoon smashing out mini panels, and I think some solenoid drivers as well. And I've just been informed by FedEx they've got a package of PCBs they've just picked up from the PCB plant, so they'll be here on Tuesday. I'll be back in the workshop giving it loads there as well. Let's do the turntable. The thing is with these Mimic panels, there's I don't really think there's a right or wrong. There's a what works for you. We can do literally anything people want, but you have to remember sometimes if you're going all out, then it'll just cost more because it takes longer to make. I did some prototypical sort of BR panels with the points with curving in a few years ago. They're on the website if you find them. I think it's Ollerton, and you can see what can be achieved there. They've got occupancy detection and they look great. But the customer was willing to, wanted what they wanted and was prepared to A, wait, and B, pay for it. And at the other end of the scale we get something that absolutely doesn't look anything like a railway in terms of prototypical use, 90-degree corners and so on, but if it's right for that layout, then it's right. And everybody wants something different. I suppose it's, whether you're going for 7mm scale 7 or scale 4 layouts, or a good train set, for example. The next panel, I don't know whether it's a train set or a scale layout, but it looks, the Mimic panel looks train setty because it's got the whole loop, the curve in it. But I think you'll agree when we look at it in a few minutes, it does look quite nice. It's very dense, there's a lot on it, but it's a nice looking panel. And this really is 3 A4 panels all put into one, so the chances of something going wrong square up with area. So I personally would rather make 4 A4 panels, because if one goes wrong I've only got one to reproduce, and the laser is easier to set up for a small panel than it is a large. But we can do up to, well, we could, if we're pushing it, we could do up to 1 meter, but it gets quite worrisome then, because obviously the laser has to be at the right height on the bed from one end to the other at the same time, and that sometimes can be difficult to achieve. You just have to put extra care into it. I can't wait to see this when the paint's dry. Flip it over and have a look. I think when the last panel's done and the paint's dry, I'll flip them all over and you can see them all one after another. But last week was busy. I did 3 panels last week, these 3 this week, and these are quite large and complex. And I've set it up, I've pushed the panels ahead of schedule so that I can clear time in the workshop next week for PCB manufacturing. And I've also got this colour light signal I want to work on. I need to lay out the circuit board for that. Well, that's something I could do on camera. Get it wrong, because I usually get it wrong first. But I'm still deciding whether, how much I want to build in and how much will be an option. Because I do want the colour light signal to be able to operate a relay for automatic brake control. So I want to design it so that all these are options that you can, add an ABC controller and a relay, and you get your automatic braking. I'm also thinking of making a DCC occupancy detector that's based on the electromagnetic field using a coil, rather than inserting a loss into one of the DCC rails. Just in case you want the best of the best, then we'd have this as an option, but the coils are quite expensive. I've got to work out how I want to do it, where I get power from, and so on. I want to make everything so that it's modular and doesn't need a million power cables everywhere as well, so if it's being driven by something, it should take its power from that something as well. This is nearly done. I think I had the artwork for this. I drew the artwork up a week ago, so it's gone through the approval process. A couple of revisions because I got stuff wrong, or customer wanted to add stuff. So this one's taken, so far I'm a week into this project, and I quote 6 to 8 weeks. And sometimes it happens that way, because if I'm running a batch of panels on the laser, I will gear up to do that work in one big session, and a session might last 2 or 3 days. So I'll do artwork. If I'm on the laser, I'll do artwork to make that batch, and if it misses the batch, then it'll wait for the next run, which might be 2 weeks later, because I might be making servo mounts or what have you. Oh, it's looking good. Let's clean that up a bit. Yeah. I don't know if I showed you how I was cutting. Turntable, little spot there. How I changed the way I was cutting wood. I've got a high pressure air assist now and a new nozzle, and it's pretty darn great the way it works. It leaves absolutely no burn marks or scoring on the top of the wood. Happy with that. Let's put this somewhere safe. I'll show you now. I'll go and get a servo mount. These are the mounts as standard, and they're great, but on the boxes in particular you get the little yellowing around the cut line, and you compare it with this one, it's absolutely clear. There's no score marks at all, so we will be switching to that at some point. It was a test, but I mean, that's good. That's just wonderful. So I'm very happy with those. Okay, next panel. I've lost it. There it is. Ah, yes, this is the one I was talking about. It goes, yeah, it's round. I've done the blue on the backside, which is non-scenic, and now I'm just left with the black. There's quite a lot of tracks on this. A lot of work, but we'll do what we can. After all, I've got all day. Okay, let's start from here. I might need to clean the brush as the paint was starting to, well, I would say it was congealing, but it was getting thicker. I like this panel, it's nice. I'd be happy with it. Unfortunately, I haven't got any trains, so I haven't got any time. Yeah, it's covering nice, that. You've seen this was my baseboard and got turned into a post room bench. It'll happen at some point. But when we got the house, we didn't plan on this, didn't plan on the business. I suppose the next step would be an industrial unit. But I like the commute here, sort of fall out of bed. Let's do that bit there. The distance to some of the tracks was a bit short, a bit tight. I was painting the blue, I had to be extra careful. Yeah, that's brilliant. Don't worry, you'll get to see them. But I think this might be a painting over several sessions. And I hope the customer, I think they'll be absolutely delighted with it. It's nice, it's compact, it's tight. 610 by 310 in size. And it's shipping with an enclosure, which I have to package up as well. So I think this will be going FedEx on Tuesday after the bank holiday. It's too big for Royal Mail. Which way am I going to go? I'm going to go that way, which means I should start here. I do like black as a colour, it's very contrasty. Maybe I should do the panels in yellow, so black and yellow, like a wasp. So airport signs are that colour, aren't they? They're very, very easy to see. The problem is, if I start doing mimic panels with different colour bases, everybody will want something different and I won't have them in stock. But as they say, you've got to give the customer what they want. They do say that, don't they? If the weather stays nice for the weekend, I'm going to put the gazebo up so that we can A, have somewhere dry for the summer when the thinkable happens, and it'll be something for somewhere for my granddaughter to play in. Because I'm planning a lot of barbecues. We had one yesterday, had one the day before, had one the day before that, had three last weekend. We had one on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. We did dinner and lunch on it. Love the barbie. I think Sheila just likes it because it gets me out of the house, away from her maybe, I don't know. I've just heard recently the Stafford show, which is at the Stafford Showground, is now moving to the large hall. So they're moving from those little hut things into the main hall, which should make for a better exhibition. I've decided we are going to do shows, but we're going to do a maximum of 6 in a year. So say from next season, if I want to do a new venue, then one has to go, or another one has to go. So I'm limiting it to 6 because I've been able to get so much done at the weekends. I don't stop, I'm still working on product. And in the past we were basically running ourselves ragged all over the country. I put 56,000 miles on the car over 2.5 years, just doing shows. I only bought it for shows really. I don't need a car. Everything comes to me now here, which is great. And now it's just a glorified shopping trolley. That's SUV, isn't it? Shopping utility vehicle. That's right, isn't it? Anyhow, could be an order. Ping. But I'm keen to stay at home as much as I can. So that I can just get more work done. I mean, the business is great at shows, but it comes at great expense. And one of those is, for example, you get back from a show on a Monday morning, you say you come back Sunday night, so you're all day at exhibition. Then after a full weekend, you've got to pack up and drive back. And if I'm, say, at Milton Keynes, you know, that's 3 to 4 hours of driving. So you get back late at night, empty the car so you can hit the ground running the next day. You have to do all the orders from the weekend, nice problem to have, and you know, be up like a spring bunny for the Monday, and it's hard. I do find it hard. Then again, I'm no spring bunny myself, so maybe that's why. So I'm just looking to back off a bit and ensure my longevity by not working too hard. Well, that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. And of course my kids are chasing their own businesses at the moment, so they've no time either to help. Not that they did. My daughter, she solders for us, but she's bye. Can I have some Cokes, please? Sheila's going shopping. Either that or I'm in trouble. She did wave goodbye though. Nobody in my family wants to be on the camera. I accept I'm not photogenic or particularly good in front of the camera, but I just get on with it. That's the same with shows really. Just get on with it. This is coming together quite well. And the cuts for the engraving were nicely done on this as well. I think I reduced it a little bit, take a little bit less out of it. And it's nice. Oh. Okay, start again this side of the road. I can hear the birds in the background in the field and the trees. It's just lovely. It gets quite loud at dawn. I was awake at 5 to 3 this morning. Can't sleep. And as soon as the light starts coming through the windows around about 4ish, you can hear the dawn chorus. It's fab. Sheila used to say in the night, oh, there's an owl there, we can hear an owl. And she'd go by the front door and she'd open it and she'd be going, hoo hoo, hoo hoo. And I used to take the mickey out of her and saying, yeah, and at the other end of it is another person at their front door going, hoo hoo, hoo hoo, back. Because I never saw the owl. It'd be funny if that was the case. And in the front field, the paddock, there's usually a buzzard there, and it hunts there, and it hunts every single day. But as soon as the warm weather came 6 weeks ago, warmed up, and I suppose the breeding season, it's disappeared. But I think it did the same last year. Having said that, I've seen 4 buzzards flying around the area, so it could be one of them. It's just moved on because hunting's now better somewhere else. It's had all the voles and mice out of our field. It's gone on to greener pastures. Oh, I can't wait to blow the paddling pool up for my granddaughter. Get the water sprinkler out as well in the garden, all that fun to have. Yes, when Britain warms up to 10 degrees or something. No, they forecast 20 this weekend here. I want 25 for the paddling pool, but it's May still. I had a delivery this morning. I had a delivery from FedEx. I had a load of components delivered, resistors and capacitors, and they were here at 8:05, which is great because I only ordered them yesterday. Then half an hour later I had a text message to say that I was getting a delivery today. It's pretty good. We've also added 1mm piano wire to our stock. I'm just waiting for that to come in. I've put it on the shop already. I listed it on back order. It's just for those, if you've done points without the centre spring, then you can use the 0.68 piano wire and it will look absolutely beautiful. And the piano wire will provide no fuss setup because of its natural springiness. But if you've left the centre springs in, or you're using a larger gauge like maybe O or G, then the 1mm piano wire will provide that extra inflexibility. These are going on to the 00 gauge layout for Chester Cathedral that Pete Waterman's building. So I will go and have a look how they're doing. I maybe shoot a video there as well. I've already shot video of his panels, of which I made 3. And he's running servos, and I think he's using micro switches for frog switching. But I'm going to go down, take a look on Sunday and get an update, but I don't want to go unless the piano wire arrives. So they've ordered some from me. And some other great news, I heard a club near me at Winsford, they'd lost their building. Basically it wasn't being used and the council let them have it a number of years ago. And now they want it for something else as part of a refurbishment, but I'm led to believe that they may have got some land now and they're going to build something, which would be excellent. Excellent for them and excellent for the area. And I think what I'll do if that happens as my contribution, I'll sponsor a mimic panel or something for their 00 layout. They've got quite a large O gauge layout in the basement at the moment, and a 00 layout, a large 00 layout upstairs. So I think they'll all go onto one floor. And the 00 layout's quite impressive. It's quite old now, I think. I don't know. So that will get reconfigured, and it'll be straightened as well to go with the new design of the building. So there'll be an opportunity for me to provide them a panel, I'm sure. We'll get many long conversations over that. It's a sort of stealth club in that they are hard to find, or they were for me. I knew they were there, but I couldn't get hold of anyone. And basically you have to know where to look. And I don't know whether that's deliberate or not. It might be deliberate. That's fine. Ooh, what? Look at that. Always the thin lines that get you. Looking good. Right, let's do the opposite side. Now this is where I get paint all over me, because it's wet. I asked for more stuff for the Barbie today, Sheila, when she's gone shopping, and she said, no, we've had enough barbecues. She's barbecued out. I'm not. Love me red meat. Does it show? I've got the figure to prove it. There's a little bit of paint gone on an LED spot. So what I'll do is one or two ways. Get it out with an earbud now, but I'll let it go dry and I'll scrape it, because I don't have water and earbuds right now. I looked for places to take my granddaughter, and I thought of Chester Zoo. And I thought, probably like everyone else, instead of just buying a ticket, what's it cost to be a member, and what do you get? And as a member, you can be a member for life, you can be a member for a year. And with memberships, it's basically unlimited admission. And I thought, well, she's of an age where she'd appreciate it. We need to take her 4 and a bit times for it to be less expensive. So I went onto the website and looked it up, and it said, we're sorry, we've taken the membership sales off the website due to unprecedented demand. So I can only assume everyone else had the same idea after the lockdown finishing, and they've done the same. But no rush, I can wait, as it's a 12 calendar months from when you take it out. Take it out in the winter, take it out next year. She's only 2 1/4. It'll be quite an interesting trip to the zoo when you're that age, to see all the things. And it would take 4 trips to get round. So I'm from Chester. I remember it as a kid, going to Chester Zoo. And even now, when we went a couple of years ago, we couldn't get round it in a day. And that's great, because that means there's a reason to go back. Whereas I don't fancy a safari park, because I value the wipers on my car and mirrors and anything else. And it'll be an expensive job getting it fixed. This panel's gone so much faster than I thought, given there's a lot of it. Maybe I've just been talking too much. Whereas earlier, or yesterday, I just let the thing play out fast. Time-lapse. Some days I've got something to say, other days I haven't. Sometimes I just want to work in silence. Resentful that I have to turn my music off, because YouTube will moan about it. I think I'm going to look for some royalty-free music. If I did find it, then you've already heard it on the time-lapse sequence. By Jove, it's nearly done. Let's do the title and the logo. Dun, dun, dun. Millbank. Nice. I really do like this panel. I think it's lovely. I'd be happy with it. And the most important logo. Plenty of paint on that. Lifetime of coverage. See, because these are reverse painted from underneath, they don't wear out. Because the paint is, you can't touch it. Okay, what have I missed? By holding it to the light, it amplifies the thickness, or lack of, and lets me see and just smooth out a few bits whilst I put my finger in the paint. Yay. A bit there. Seems weird. The laser's been on solidly for 3 days this week, all day long. So I'm used to hearing the exhaust extraction, the compressor and the vacuum pump on the bed running next door. Now it's all quiet. Beautiful. Wow, this is absolutely smart. I think that's stunning. You can go from smart to stunning. And just a little bit of colour makes a difference. Right. And you can see that when it dries. I think I'm fixing problems that don't exist. Yeah, they don't exist. I'll put that on. There we have it. I'll leave that to dry. So I'll see you in a little bit when I'll show the panels painted and the enclosure for this. Well, I hope you'll agree these panels have come out rather well. Let's have a look. This was the original drawing from the customer for distance, and here is the finished result. Rather nice, rather pleasing. And the second one, this is the original, actually no, it's not the original artwork, that's the proof. Where's the original artwork gone? Ah, here it is. Original artwork from the customer. And here is the finished article. 800mm of pure joy. Rather nicely. And finally, the last one I did, original artwork for Millbank. I think that's an any rail track diagram. And the finished article is this. I'm very pleased with that. I think it looks lovely. So now we're going to let them dry for another day, and then we'll pack them up, and at the end of the bank holiday weekend they'll be off and into the post. So I'll see you next time on the blog. Thanks for watching.